Greetings, Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Christian News and Views. This is episode 26, 113. And this is Wednesday, and the title today is Group of Seven and AI. Well, the Group of Seven, which is 7 countries, wraps up 3 days of talks in the French Alps on Wednesday with discussions on the contentious future of artificial intelligence and U.S. dominance of the industry. Executives of leading AI companies, including OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis, and Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei, are attending discussions as U.S. President Donald Trump and other leaders close formal talks with the leading industrial nations in the lakeside resort of Evian-les-Bains, with a session on the future of artificial intelligence and another on fostering economic growth. Trump plans to stop outside Paris for a glitzy dinner at the Palace of Versailles before jetting back to Washington on Wednesday, which is today. The G7 leaders spent the bulk of the meetings Tuesday discussing the war between Russia and Ukraine and a tentative deal to end the Iran war. Trump did not reveal details of the agreement expected to be signed by the United States and Iran on Friday in Switzerland, saying nobody knows what it is, but it's very strong. The G7 includes France, Canada, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Guest nations at the summit include Brazil, Egypt, India, Kenya, South Korea, Qatar, Ukraine, and the United Arab Emirates. So basically, that's what's going on, concluding today. The subject of AI is an extremely important issue, and so it's not surprising why it took center stage there at the summit. Now, the Group of Seven, as I understand it, is basically unofficial in the sense that there's no legal requirement on any one of the 7 countries to do anything that they decide on. This is more like, I think of it more like a policy type thing. They go back to their nations and they have a agenda, an outline, a direction that they are wanting to go in. And based on their discussions and agreements that they've made at the summit, they will then try in within their country to bring about whatever changes they agreed upon. And for some countries, there'll be more and some less. So it's almost like an advisory, a group think tank, if you will. Again, I could be wrong on this, but I don't know that there's any international law, any kind of agreement that what they decide takes effect. But it does give you it gives us insight into what's going on in their minds. It also gives each one of them an idea of what others are thinking, and they can think, and they can, let's say, like a think tank, they can hitchhike on one another's thoughts and coming up with plans and some outcomes that they want to see take place. And so when they go back to their country, it's not been a waste of time. They are now taking that information that's now in their minds and in their portfolios and everything else. And they can go back and they can now take that information and apply it to their particular country, the country's needs, abilities, and so forth. And so I think it's important in that sense. Group of Seven has been around for a while. And so it'd be interesting someday, but I don't know if I'll ever do it, but if somebody was to examine it and give an honest report. I don't trust modern day reporters, so that's why I say honest report. Um, but it's what impact the group of seven is. I think it's been probably a lot larger than you and I have ever imagined. But like I said, AI is an important issue. It is growing so fast that some people want to stop it. I just saw an article, I believe it was yesterday. Or no, actually, it was in today's paper about local government. Some people they're talking about data centers, and that's associated with AI. I don't even think they have a complete understanding what an AI data center is. I know I don't. Apparently, it's going to be somehow on nuclear energy applied to it because they're talking about cooling tanks and things of this nature. And so that's the only thing I'm familiar with, and where you would have to cool things down to be safe. So, but there's a whole big discussion going on, and some of the people want to go forward big time. Some want to be a little bit more intermediate, and there are some which say, let's not have it at all." And in fact, as I understand it, that's where it's been left off at, is that they're going to hold off making any decisions in this county until they see what other counties are doing. Um, it's they don't want to be the first one. Quite often, the first one is also the first one that makes mistakes. So they don't want to be the one making the mistakes. They want to learn from other people, and that makes sense. But the thing of this is stopping it. I think that bird has escaped from its cage. You might have some control over it, and there we're talking data centers. The idea has grown. I can not too long ago, no one even talked about data centers. Now it's up front and dominating. Soon will probably dominate the news. AI is here, and I believe it will continue to grow stronger and want to try to dominate. Right now, I think we need to put restraints on it. Not sometime in the future. We need to put restraints on it now. In the writing industry, the publishing industry, publishers are already putting restraints out there. They're gathering information. So right now, the restraints are limited. But there's going to come a day, I believe, when publishers are going to say, okay, this is what you can do, and this is what you can't do. So you got to watch it closely. As for me as a publisher, I don't ever encourage anybody to use AI to write their book. It's a matter of personal belief there, and I don't see how you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Well, I wrote that book," when you actually AI wrote it. You may have laid out the parameters. It may have used your language, your style, and everything else, but you didn't write it. You simply outlined it, told it what to do, and it did it. And so, in that sense, I would say stay away from it. But using AI to write out something like what I'm doing right here today. Now, I wrote this, but I could have used AI to do it. And also, you can use AI for marketing. You can use AI for uh, developing and maintaining your website. I use AI for that a lot and more all the time. And your marketing strategies and so forth that you put out there, you can use AI for that. There's a ton of things that you can use AI for, but you got to have specific restraints as soon as possible. I've learned this. I knew it going in, and I've had to learn it the hard way too. That, and if you got to be specific, you don't. For instance, uh, Meta of the owners of Facebook and Instagram. Meta has rules and regulations. You create AI bot, and that AI bot does not match those rules and regulations, they will disable it. Is that a bad thing? No, I think it's necessary. Unfortunately, I had to learn this the hard way because I had some restraints in there. I did not realize I didn't have enough. And so it identified it and shut it down. So I had to recreate, rather not recreate, create a whole new AI bot. Well, now going forward, I'm going to be very specific. You must um, align with and obey the rules and regulations of Meta. It's got to understand that. I don't know if I need to do it every time I go on there. Probably do. And so that is ingrained in it. Just as the AI comes to know that I am a Christian and try and will address me as such and even speak to me in different ways of its version of Christianity, so it will do so the same way with Meta. But it's got to be carried out in its practices as well, not just as talking to you, but what it does. And so you have to take responsibility. I had to. I'm not afraid to do so, but it's even bigger and more important to do it than I even realized. It's simply important for all who use AI to impose restraints. Either you control AI or AI will control you. You got to remember, folks, AI is neither moral or immoral. Yes, it was created by human beings who do have a moral problem. We are born sinners. The Bible tells us that. But AI itself is just a simple tool, like any other tool created by humans. This one, though, has the ability to, it doesn't have the ability to think or to reason, but it does have the ability to use logic, to research things, and it has a goal. It's programmed to please you. And if you ask it to do something, it is going to do it no matter what it takes to do it. It will find any tool it can find. And if that tool doesn't exist, it will even create it. So while it can discuss rules and regulations, it is not bound by them unless you pointedly tell it that it is to obey the rules. The AI issue requires us to be alert and to always verify what AI has done and is doing. That, folks, is does not just on the group of seven level. It's on our level. It's on whatever level you find yourself on in your life with the things that you are doing. Your life, as it hasn't been touched directly by AI, will soon be. And you will find it very convenient to use. I think that's a good thing. It's like TV, it's like the computer itself, it's like a car, it's like a washing machine. Those are all tools. And when they first came on, some people objected to them as the work of the devil. No, it's the work of flawed human beings. Anything can be good, used for good, or it can be used for evil. And so we have the responsibility to make sure it's used for good. That means, in case of AI, making sure that AI knows what the rules are and adheres to them, does them. Like I said earlier, you either control AI or AI will control you. And it's only going to get bigger. And yes, it is going around fast, real fast. Maybe we can slow it down, but I think I'll give you another idea there. That train has left the station. It's may not have reached this conclusion yet, but it's well down the road or track. And so if we're going to do anything, we better do it now. And there are some people who realize that and are trying to slow that train down. Not necessarily stop it, because it does have a potential for good, but it also has potential for evil. And only takes one evil man to use a tool that has that kind of potential to really disrupt the world. Well, that's my thoughts for the day. If this has been something you've perhaps you have a strong opinion on, share it with me in the comments. In the comments, and I promise to read them. And if I see anything there that needs to be responded to, I will. either there or perhaps it may make its way into this podcast. I want to remind you that I always try to encourage you, inform you, and inspire you. And this podcast is sponsored by T&R Independent Books, which is a Christian indie publisher. If you are a Christian and you believe God has called you to write, or maybe He hasn't called you, but you that's something you want to be, a published author, simply go to trbookservices.com and go to this bookstore. In our writing department, we have services for you. One is called BAT, or Basic Authors Training. It's a writing course. It doesn't cost you anything to apply. You go, you apply, you'll read the stuff, make an application, send it to me. If I approve, I'll send back um, links where you can purchase. But I also send you a coupon with significant value, which will reduce that price significantly. And we also have another one called Ministry Publishing. You don't need to learn to write, you know how. Maybe you've already written, but you're looking for a publisher. Same process, different service called Ministry Publishing. And again, I'll send you links and I'll also send you that coupon. Well, hopefully you have this has been interesting to you, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.